It's been a year since Gi-hun, player 456, won the deadly Squid Game, taking home the prize of 45.6 billion. But the experience left him traumatized, and he became obsessed with uncovering the truth behind the sinister game. Gi-hun's investigation led him to a shocking discovery. The Squid Game was not a one-time event, but rather a recurring tournament, with a new game scheduled to take place soon. Determined to stop the game and bring justice to the victims' families, Gi-hun decided to participate in the next round, hoping to gather evidence and sabotage the game from within. Meanwhile, a new group of players was recruited, each with their own desperate reasons for joining the game. Among them was a young woman named Gi-hun, who had lost her family in a tragic accident and was seeking revenge against the world. As the game began, Gi-hun and Gi-hun formed an uneasy alliance, working together to survive the early rounds. But they soon realized that the game had changed, with new, even more brutal challenges designed to test the players' physical and mental limits. The frontman, the game's sinister host, returned with a twisted grin, revealing that this time, the game would be played with teams. The players were divided into groups, with Gi-hun and Gi-hun forced to work with a new set of allies, including a ruthless gangster and a brilliant hacker. As the game progressed, alliances were formed and broken, and the body count rose. Gi-hun and Gi-hun found themselves facing impossible choices. But Gi-hun's ultimate goal remained unchanged: to expose the truth behind the Squid Game and bring the organizers to justice. He knew it wouldn't be easy, but he was willing to risk everything to ensure that no one else would have to suffer the same horrors he endured. As the game progressed, Gi-hun and Gi-hun's team managed to stay ahead of the competition, but the challenges were getting increasingly difficult. The frontmen seemed to take pleasure in watching the players suffer, and the masked guards were becoming more aggressive. One night, Gi-hun snuck out of the dormitory to gather evidence, sneaking into the game's control room. He discovered a shocking truth: the game was being broadcasted live to a secret audience of wealthy elites who were betting on the outcome. Gi-hun realized that the game was not just about survival, but also about entertainment for the privileged few. He knew he had to act fast, but the guards caught him and brought him back to the dormitory. The next day, the players were taken to a new arena, where they were forced to play a twisted version of musical chairs. The players had to fight for a limited number of chairs, while the guards used tasers to shock them into submission. Gi-hun was eliminated in the first round, leaving Gi-hun devastated, but he refused to give up, using his wits and cunning to outmaneuver the other players. As the game neared its climax, Gi-hun found himself facing off against a ruthless gangster who had formed an alliance with the hacker. The three of them were forced to play a final game of Squid Game, with the last person standing winning the grand prize. But just as the game was about to begin, Gi-hun revealed a shocking twist. He had discovered the identity of the game's mastermind, and it was none other than the frontman himself. The frontman sneered, but Gi-hun had one last trick up his sleeve. He revealed that he had secretly formed an alliance with the hacker, who had been working to disable the game's security systems. As the guards closed in, Gi-hun and the hacker made their move, using the disabled security systems to escape the arena. They left the frontman and the gangster to face the consequences of their actions. Gi-hun and the hacker emerged victorious, but not without scars. They vowed to expose the truth behind the Squid Game, bringing justice to the victims' families and putting an end to the twisted game once and for all. But as they walked away from the arena, Gi-hun couldn't shake off the feeling that the game was far from over. The frontman's sinister smile lingered in his mind, and he knew that the true mastermind behind the Squid Game was still out there, waiting for the perfect. As Gi-hun and the hacker, whose name was revealed to be Min-ho, walked away from the arena, they were met with a surprise. A group of rebels who had been secretly working to take down the Squid Game's organizers emerged from the shadows. The leader of the rebels, a charismatic woman named Soo-jin, revealed that they had been tracking the game's organizers for months. She asked Gi-hun and Min-ho to join forces with them to bring down the game's mastermind once and for all. Gi-hun, still reeling from the events of the game, hesitated at first. But Min-ho's enthusiasm was infectious, and soon they found themselves swept up in the rebels' plan. The rebels infiltrated the game's headquarters, avoiding the guards and security systems with ease. Gi-hun, Min-ho, and Soo-jin made their way to the mastermind's office, ready to confront them. But when they burst into the office, they were met with a shocking sight. The mastermind, the true architect of the Squid Game, was none other than Gi-hun's own brother, Gi-jun. Gi-jun, who had been presumed dead, revealed that he had been secretly manipulating the game from the beginning. He had used his wealth and influence to create the game as a twisted form of revenge against the society that had wronged him. Gi-hun was stunned, unsure of what to do. But Soo-jin and Min-ho were resolute, determined to bring Gi-jun to justice. The final confrontation was intense, with Gi-hun torn between his loyalty to his brother and his duty to stop the game. In the end, it was Gi-hun who made the ultimate decision, choosing to bring down his brother's twisted empire. The Squid Game was finally over, but the scars would linger. Gi-hun, Min-ho, and Soo-jin walked away, forever changed by their experiences.